गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacarya Stotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. We'll continue our reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, and we're beginning chapter 5 today. We'll do text 1 through 21 and discuss text 20. So the title of this chapter is Durvasa Muni's Life Spared. So we know what's going to happen. He's running away from the Sudarshan Chakra, and then he went to meet whom in the last chapter? Actually, three personalities, right? He went to Brahma, Lord Shiva, finally to Lord Vishnu, and then Vishnu said, it's a beautiful verse yesterday that we read. Sorry, I can't do much. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, right? He said, so you please go back to my devotee and ask for forgiveness for what you've done. Only then will Sudarshan actually leave you alone. So far he's been chased by Sudarshan Chakra. So we'll read the translations for text 1 through 21, and then we'll come back to text 20. It's beautiful. I want to read all the translations because there are some wonderful prayers by Ambarish Maharaj to Sudarshan, and then the verse that we'll cover is a conversation between Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. So we don't have the TV, so you can pick it up on your phones from vedabase.io. You can go to the library, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 5, and then we can... somebody has it already, they can get it started, or I can start and then... Yeah. Is it on? Actually, let's do the Mangalacharan and then get to it. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadu Tam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Okay, please read translation for text. Yeah, we can do 2 verses each. Yeah, 20 verses, right? Yeah.
Shukadev Goswami said, when thus advised by Lord Vishnu, Durvasa Muni, who was very much harassed by the Sudarshan Chakra, immediately approached Maharaj Ambarish. Being very much aggrieved, the Muni fell down and clasped the king's lotus feet. When Durvasa touched his feet, Maharaj Ambarish was very much ashamed, and when he saw Durvasa attempting to offer prayers because of mercy, he was aggrieved even more. Thus he immediately began offering prayers to the great weapon of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Jashna, you have to breathe a little when you...
Maharaj Amrish said, O Sudarshan Chakra, you are fire, you are the most powerful sun, and you are the moon, the master of all luminaries. You are water, earth, and sky. You are the air. You are the 5 sense objects, sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. And you are the senses also. O most favorite of Achyuta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have thousands of spokes. O master of the material world, destroyer of all weapons, original vision of the Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Kindly give shelter and be auspicious to this Brahmana.
I mean, it's remarkable just to think of what's happening, right? Durvasa Muni tried to kill Ambarish Maharaj, and then now he's requesting Sudarshan Chakra to spare him, somebody who actually tried to kill him. And that too, not because he was feeling pity or something like that. He was really thinking he was from a lower position. If you second text, he was feeling ashamed that Durvasa Muni was actually clasping his lotus feet and trying to offer prayers. This was Maharaj Ambarish's mood. It's like, okay, I really don't want this happening to this Brahmana. Let me just ask Sudarshan Chakra to leave him alone. And then now he speaks about, he starts his prayers to Sudarshan Chakra, and we have Sudarshan Chakra on the altar. Right? So think about this section is really nice. When we next time come in front of Sudarshan Chakra, we can remember all these wonderful things that Ambarish Maharaj is speaking about Sudarshan Chakra. Text 5.
O Sudarshan Chakra, will you are religion, you are truth, you are encouraging statements. You are sacrifice, and you are the enjoyer of the fruits of sacrifice. You are the maintainer of the entire universe, and you are the supreme transcendental prowess in the hands of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the original vision of the Lord, and therefore you are known as Sudarshana. Everything has been created by your activities, and therefore you are all pervading.
Yeah. So Prabhupada gives some more insights on who Sudarshan is in this purport. But in the last 2 verses, we have a clue from the translation, right? Usually we think of Sudarshan Chakra as the wheel in Krishna's hand that goes and kills the demons. But in the last 2 verses, how is Sudarshan described? Anybody remember? The visionary creator? Yeah, it's the vision of the Lord. It's actually the glance of the Lord. Where does this happen? Where does the glance of the Lord take place in terms of all the descriptions that we are reading about Sudarshan Chakra? Why is the glance specified so much? No? It is mercy too, but you're saying something? Yeah, he's impregnating the material universe, right? So what happens is Mahavishnu is there in the causal ocean, and then he's looking at the material energy. This vision, right? Tad aikshata. Prabhupada mentions, I think, in this purport. Tad aikshata sa ashrajata. Aikshata means he sees, and then it's created. So how this is happening is the vision of the Lord is impregnating the material energy of the Lord, which is unmanifest, right? At that point, it's called, I think, pradhana. And then when the vision of the Lord falls on the pradhana, then everything starts happening. It becomes mahat tattva, and that's why in the previous verse, if you saw, you see he's mentioning Sudarshan Chakra as you're the fire, you're the most powerful sun, moon, master of all luminaries, earth, water, fire, sky, and all the sense objects. So this is what Sudarshan Chakra. Without Sudarshan essentially means, darshan means vision, right? Sight, to see. And Su means something that's really good or beautiful, like that. So Sudarshan literally means the beautiful vision of the Lord. And the beautiful vision of the Lord, when it falls on the material energy of the Lord, is what starts the entire creation. And Sudarshan is the energy of the Lord that is pervading in this world, that is actually maintaining and sustaining this world. That's what's happening. And so Sudarshan is not just, and of course Sudarshan functions as the weapon of the Lord too, but his service to the Lord is much, much more than just being the weapon of the Lord and killing demons and killing the enemies of the Lord. Okay, let's continue.
O Sudarshan, you have a very auspicious hub, and therefore you are the upholder of all religion. You are just like an auspicious comet. Inauspicious comet for the irreligious demons. Indeed, you are the maintainer of the three worlds. You are full of transcendental effulgence. You are quick as the mind, and you are able to work wonders. I can simply utter the word Namaha, offering all obeisances unto you.
Yeah, ultimately that's the only thing we can do to the Lord. With everything that the Lord has, and look at his Angsha, this Sudarshan, what else can we offer to the Lord than our obeisances, or his energy of the Lord, or the devotees of the Lord? That's all we have to offer. Nothing else to offer. And here it mentions the speed of Sudarshan Chakra, right? It says, you are as quick as the mind. Have you seen the speed of Sudarshan Chakra before? We have. In the previous canto? Yeah. Have we seen Sudarshan Chakra before this at all? In the Bhagavatam? Yeah. No. Sorry, I'm speaking in the context of what we're discussing. in the context of reading Srimad Bhagavatam, have we heard of the speed of Sudarshan Chakra before? Or have we actually heard of Sudarshan Chakra before this incident at all? Okay. I think we have done it. The most famous example of Krishna using the Sudarshan Chakra in the 8th canto is Gajendra. Right? Krishna uses his Sudarshan Chakra and he doesn't even know what's happening. It all happens in a flash. Right? Gajendra offers the flower to Krishna, and then Krishna is hurrying so fast that Garuda is not able to catch up with him. Like his devotee has called, Garuda is catching up with him, all the chakra and everything is coming along, and then within a second, the crocodile's head is gone. And Sudarshan Chakra's speed is pretty incredible. Okay, continue.
O Master of Speech, by your effulgence full of religious principles, the darkness of the world is dissipated, and the knowledge of learned persons or great souls is manifested. Indeed, no one can surpass your effulgence, for all things, manifested and unmanifested, gross and subtle, superior and inferior, are but various forms of you that are manifested by your effulgence.
Yeah. All the light from the luminaries in this world comes from Sudarshan. The sun, the moon, everything gets its light from Sudarshan. Okay, continue.
O indefatigable one, when you are sent by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to enter among the soldiers of the Daityas and the Dhanavas, you stay on the battlefield and unendingly separate their arms, bellies, thighs and legs and head.
O protector of the universe, you are engaged by the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his all-powerful weapon in killing the envious enemies. For the benefit of our entire dynasty, kindly favor this poor Brahmin. This will certainly be a favor for all of us.
Yeah, this is the first instance of Ambarish Maharaj actually requesting Sudarshan to do what he wants him to do, right? So far he's been glorifying him. And then let's see the next two verses.
If our family has given charity to the proper persons, if we have performed ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, if we have properly carried out our occupational duties, and if we have been guided by learned Brahmins, I wish in exchange that this Brahmin be freed from the burning caused by the Sudarshan Chakra.
So he initially in the previous verse requested Sudarshan to leave the Brahmana, right? And then he's asking him again. Why do you think he's asking him again? Yeah, because Sudarshan is still not convinced. Like in the previous verse, he's saying, please leave this Brahmana alone. And then Sudarshan is saying, no, sorry, that's not going to happen. And then in this verse, he's actually putting his and his family on the line and saying, if we have actually done the things right, everything that we have done, if it is proper, you please protect this Brahmana, you leave him alone. And then read the next verse.
If the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is one without a second, who is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities, and who is the life and soul of all living entities, is pleased with us, we wish that this Brahmana, Durvasa Muni, be freed from the pain of being burned.
Yeah, even after he put his entire family on the line, Sudarshan was not convinced. Therefore, now he is saying, okay, this is my final card, this is all I have. If you think the Lord is pleased with me, okay, I don't have anything more than this to tell you. This is all I have, right? Then you please save this Brahmana. You please leave him. This is basically how he is using everything that he has to save Durvasa Muni. And we all know that this is a fact, right? Because Krishna has already said this to Durvasa Muni, that he is very dear to me. You please go and ask his forgiveness. So now Sudarshan has no other way but to leave the Brahmana alone. Continue.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, when the king offered prayers to the Sudarsana Chakra and Lord Vishnu, because of his prayers, the Sudarsana Chakra became peaceful and stopped burning the Brahmana known as Durvasa Muni.
Yeah. He didn't give him a choice.
Durvasa Muni, the great powerful mystic, was indeed satisfied when freed from the fire of the Sudarsana Chakra. Thus he praised the qualities of Maharaj Ambarish and offered him the highest benedictions. Durvasa Muni said, my dear king, today I have experienced the greatness of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For although I have committed an offense, you have prayed for me for my good fortune.
Okay, let's...
For those who have achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the pure devotees, what is impossible to do and what is impossible to give up? What is impossible for the servants of the Lord? By the very hearing of His holy name, one is purified.
Yeah. He says, for general people, what Maharaj Ambarish did is practically unthinkable, right? If somebody is offending us, we might get away from them, right? But if somebody is trying to kill us, we'll run away from them or try to defend, right? My Guru Maharaj says the best kind of kung fu move is run fu. If somebody comes to attack you, run the opposite direction. So Amrish Maharaj didn't try to do that also. He didn't try to attack Durvasa Muni back. What did he do? He was saying, okay, kill me. If that's what, oh Lord, you want to happen, you kill me. And then Durvasa Muni was actually defeated in killing Ambarish Maharaj, and Sudarshan is chasing him all around. And then he's praying profusely to Sudarshan to leave him alone. And then Durvasa Muni is completely like amazed by what's happening. How is this happening? And then he realizes, oh, actually this is possible for the devotees of the Supreme Lord. Because this is an impossible situation. And for the devotees of the Lord, there is nothing that's impossible. In fact, I've tried to harm you and you're trying to actually give me mercy, trying to protect me. This is his realization.
O King, overlooking my offenses, you have saved my life. Thus I am very much obliged to you, because you are so merciful. Expecting the return of Durvasa Muni, the king had not taken his food. Therefore, when the sage returned, the king fell at his lotus feet, pleasing him in all respects, and fed him sumptuously.
I mean, somebody's trying to kill you, and then you're waiting for him to have food together. How?
Does the king respectful? Durvasa Muni said, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. At first I thought...
No, 19, right?
Does the king respectfully receive Durvasa Muni, who, after eating varieties of
Palatable.
palatable food was so satisfied that with great affection he requested the king to eat, also saying, please take your meal. Durvasa Muni said, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. At first I thought of you as an ordinary human being and accepted your hospitality, but later I could understand by my own intelligence that you are the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet, and talking with you, I have been pleased and I have become obliged to you.
Last one.
All the blessed women in the heavenly planets will continuously chant about your spotless character at every moment, and the people of this world will also chant your glories continuously.
Yeah. So let's go back to text 20 and read the Sanskrit. Pritosmyanugrihitosmi Pritosmyanugrihitosmi Tava bhagavatasya vai Darshana sparshana lapair Atityenatmamedasa. Somebody chant. Pritosmi anugrihitosmi Tava bhagavatasya vai Darshana sparshana lapair Atityenatmamedasha. Pritosmi anugrihitosmi Tava bhagavatasya vai Darshana sparshana lape Atityenatmamedasha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This is the word for word. Preeta, very much satisfied. Asmi, I am. Anugrihita, very much favored. Asmi, I am. Tava, your. Bhagavatasya, because of your being a pure devotee. Why? Indeed. Darshana, by seeing you. Sparshana, and touching your feet. Alapai, by talking with you. Atityena, by your hospitality. Atmamedasha, by my own intelligence. Translation. Durvasa Muni said, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. At first, I thought of you as an ordinary human being and accepted your hospitality. But later, I could understand by my own intelligence that you are the most exalted devotee of the Lord. Therefore, simply by seeing you, touching your feet and talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you. Purport. It is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigneha na Bhujihaya. Even a very intelligent man cannot understand the activities of a pure Vaishnava. Therefore, because Durvasa Muni was a great mystic yogi, he first mistook Maharaj Ambarish for an ordinary human being and wanted to punish him. Such is the mistaken observation of a Vaishnava. When Durvasa Muni was persecuted by the Sudarshan Chakra, however, his intelligence developed. Therefore, the word Atma Medasha is used to indicate that by personal experience he would understand how great a Vaishnava the king was. When Durvasa Muni was chased by the Sudarshan Chakra, he wanted to take shelter of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. And he was even able to go to the spiritual world, meet the personality of Godhead and talk with him face to face. Yet he was unable to be rescued from the attack of the Sudarshan Chakra. Thus, he could understand the influence of a Vaishnava by personal experience. Durvasa Muni was certainly a great yogi and a very learned Brahmana. But despite his being a real yogi, he was unable to understand the influence of a Vaishnava. Therefore, it is said, Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigneha na Bhujihaya. Bhujai. Even the most learned person cannot understand the value of a Vaishnava. There is always a possibility for so-called jnanis and yogis to be mistaken when studying the character of a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava can be understood by how much he is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in terms of his inconceivable activities. This entire section is so remarkable for me because the position of Durvasa Muni, is he at a position of actually being pleased with Ambarish Maharaj, which is what he says here, right? Durvasa Muni in this translation says, oh, I am very pleased with you, my dear king. But was that his position? He was actually clasping his feet and then saying, please protect me. But then Ambarish Maharaj made him so comfortable that he's again back to his own position, right? The problem with Durvasa Muni was he was thinking, I am a Brahmana, I am a great mystic yogi, and he's just a king who is just dealing with wealth and women and riches, right? So how dare he actually drink water before I come? And he's made him so comfortable even after going through such an excruciating situation that he's now realized who he is, and from that perspective now saying, Ambarish Maharaj, I'm very, very pleased with you. And the point that Prabhupada is making here twice, and even yesterday I think, right? It's very difficult for us to understand the activities of a Vaishnava. Because externally seeing, what Durvasa Muni thought was correct, right? Ambarish Maharaj was the emperor of the world. He was in touch with all kinds of material opulence. And then Durvasa Muni was renounced. He was a mystic yogi. And externally you could think that Durvasa Muni was more superior to Ambarish Maharaj. And in this verse, he specifically says his own realization, right? Because all the things that he says have already happened before. He's saying, simply by seeing you, touching your feet and talking with you, I have been pleased and have become obliged to you. But all these three activities happened before the Sudarshan Chakra incident also, right? Ambrish Maharaj welcomed him, they spoke, they saw, and then I'm sure he bathed his feet and all of that. So the touch happened, the sight happened, the talking happened, but he didn't realize that Ambrish Maharaj was actually a devotee of the Lord. And yet now, he's having all those three activities again, but now his realization is completely different. And why that happened, Durvasa Muni says that it happened by my own intelligence. Because through my experience, I've come to realize that you're not an ordinary person. And this mercy from a Vaishnav is available in all these three forms for all of us, right? Every single one of us can be bestowed mercy by a Vaishnav when we are just in their presence, when we are just seeing the devotee of the Lord. When we are touching, it's even more powerful. And then when we are having even conversations, that's even more powerful. Right? This is, the Vaishnava is willing to share their mind with us when we are having, their heart with us when we are having conversations. And yet, it is not always granted that we will get the mercy of the Vaishnava. Just like in the case of Durvasa Muni. Because there has to be something from our end that is required for us to actually receive that mercy. We need to have that receptacle ready. Although the Vaishnava is ready to give all the mercy to everybody, right? The Vaishnava is not saying, oh, I'm going to give only to this person. He's not discriminating, especially a pure devotee of the Lord. Right? The discrimination is there in the Madhyamadhikari stage. When we're talking about the Uttamadhikari thinks, just like how Maharaj Ambarish was thinking, that I am lower than anybody and everybody in this world. It is a genuine thing. And we see that in the pages of Chaitanya Charitamrita from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. He's seeing Durvasa Muni and then he's feeling ashamed. We read in the beginning, right? When Durvasa Muni is actually clasping the feet of Ambarish Maharaj, he's feeling ashamed that somebody is actually doing this to him. So for such a devotee of the Lord, he is not discriminating that, oh, this person gets the mercy, that person gets the mercy. Sorry, this person is not. That is the duty of a Madhyamadhikari, because he might get affected by an envious person, right? Therefore, he avoids the envious. But for an Uttamadhikari, he sees no discrimination. And yet, not everybody gets the mercy. And the reason is here, is that we need to also from our side yearn for it. If we don't yearn for that mercy, we are not going to get the mercy of the Lord or the devotees. Even in Vaishnava societies, that is the case, right? Every single second, we are dependent on the mercy of the Lord, mercy of the devotees. We recognize it, but probably not at all times. And therefore, we might take people for granted and can do what Durvasa Muni is doing, which is what Rupa Goswami says, right? Drishtair svabhava janitair vapusasya doshair na prakratatvamiha bhakta janasya pashet gangam basham nakalo buddhapena pankair brahma dravatvam apagachyati nira dharmair. He says in the Nectar of Instruction. Drishtair svabhava janitair. With our external vision, we might see there are faults in a devotee. Vapusasya doshair. Vapu in this sense, he is speaking about the body, but also we might see qualities in a devotee that we might not like. Oh, why is this person behaving like this? Why is this person doing like this? But he says, na prakratatvamiha bhakta janasya pashet. We should not take that person to be ordinary. Prakrata means, you've heard this word, prakrata sahajya. Prakrata means material. Like, we should not take such a person. Yeah, natural. Sahaja means natural, right? Sahaja means easy. So we should not take that person to be, take that person for granted. Although externally we might see such a person. This is especially true. What he is saying in Rupa Goswami is true for a Uttamadhikari. But in general, this applies also to everybody that we come in contact with. We might not understand what that person is doing unless we are in close touch with that person. Unless the main kind of guhyam akyati pruchati happens, exchange happens, we might not really understand the other person. So we might not quickly start judging the person or get offended by that person and things like that. Because in this verse he says, Gangam Basham Nakalo Budbuna Pena Pankair. Here he is specifically speaking about an Uttamadhikari, where the Ganga, when it is the monsoon season, gets very muddy because of the rains, right? But learned people will still go and take a dip in the Ganga, or even if it's muddy, because Just because Ganga is muddy doesn't mean it is impure. It is still the same Ganga, whether it's muddy or not muddy. So like that, we should still go and take the association of a devotee, even externally, if we might see, oh, there are so many faults, especially in the case of an Uttamadhikari. We should not see the external appearances. And this section is also an incredible example of how we can function when an offense takes place, right? When we know somebody is offended by us, how we have to ask for forgiveness. And it's also an orchestration of how we respond when somebody is actually asking for forgiveness. We don't kick the person on the head when they come and ask for forgiveness, which was the situation that Durvasa Muni was in, right? He was lying flat and was at the mercy of Ambarish Maharaj. This is actually the most vulnerable position that we can ever take. This is why Krishna asks all of us to do it. Man manabhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. He says, pay obeisances to me. Because this position of obeisances is actually the most physically vulnerable position that we can take, where we can never protect ourselves. We are completely at the mercy of the other person. This is how we can ask for forgiveness. There is no ifs and buts. I'm sorry, but you did this, Durvasa Muni was not saying that. You drank water without telling me. That's why I got angry. There was no ifs and buts. He was like, I'm really sorry for what happened. I'm really, really sorry. And I'm at the mercy of you. You please forgive me. Yeah. And then the reaction of a Vaishnava is that the Vaishnava actually didn't take offense. Ambarish Maharaj didn't take offense at what Durvasa Muni did. And he was saying, no, you don't have to do this, And then immediately he starts offering prayers to Sudarshan Chakra and goes as far as to basically say, Sudarshan Chakra is not leaving Durvasa Muni. He's saying, no, you can forgive him, I cannot forgive him. He has committed such a grave offense to you. I cannot do it. But then he's saying, okay, if you really think the Lord favors me, if I am dear to the Lord, you please leave him alone. He goes to put his entire, think about it. How many of us can say this? Say, if you really think I am dear to the Lord, you please leave him. Only somebody who is such an exalted devotee can say this, but say this out of actual humility. Say, okay, because that's why the Lord has given him the Sudarshan Chakra in the first place, right? The most powerful weapon in the universe, Krishna has given it to Ambarish Maharaj. You please have it. And you can see this relationship that he has with Sudarshan also, right? This is what we see through the prayers of the Srimad Bhagavatam also, is that they're just not prayers. Through the prayers, there is actually the relationship between the devotee and the Lord. And in this case, you can actually see the relationship between Ambarish Maharaj and Sudarshan Chakra, where initially he's praying with awe and reverence to Sudarshan, and at some point even threatening Sudarshan in the end to say, if you really think I'm worthy, please leave him alone. This is why Bhagavatam is so incredible, right? The prayers are so incredible. I didn't really used to like prayers before. I like the plot points. It's like, it comes and stops everything in the middle. Think about it. Durvasa Muni is falling on the feet, and then we're taking a break separately for like 7 verses or something and saying, okay, what's happening next? Come on. Sudarshan Chakra, did you leave him alone or not? And yet, no. I'm going to say how amazing you are, Sudarshan, and all of that. Especially when I was reading the Krishna book for the first time, I was like, I want to know what's happening in the story, but Prabhupada adds so much detail to it. But that's where the juice is. The Bhagavatam has, I think, 70% or 60% prayers, more than the plot points. Why is Sukadev Goswami emphasizing this more? Then he could have just said the stories, right? And said, okay, he prayed, and then moved on, and not said the details of how the prayer was happening. But it is through these prayers that we actually see the relationship between the Lord and the devotees. And we can say these prayers that inspire us, right? In our own ways that we are developing, we are trying to develop the relationship with the Lord. So these are some of the thoughts. I'm at 8:22, 2 minutes over. But if there are any questions, comments, thoughts, discussion, because we can discuss about this a lot. There's so much in this section to discuss.
Hare
Yes.
Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so much. When you are talking about the vision,
Yeah.
I was a little doubtful whether vision and glance are the same, because usually glance is told as a Shambhu, and who comes as in contact with material nature, and then the Pradhana and
Correct.
Mahatattva, Ahankar, everything gets
Yes.
into being. So is the vision and the glance same?
I had the exact same doubt yesterday when I was reading this. So I was asking ChatGPT.
I won't take
Actually, no. I was looking at it. I was looking at the Brahma Samhita. And then my understanding of what it is this is the energy of the Lord. Sudarshan is the energy of the Lord. And the personification of that energy is the chakra. So the vision itself is the energy that starts everything, that starts the motion, right? And Lord Shiva is a personality of the Lord himself, but it's a transformation of the personality. So that's the difference I found. If anybody has any other further thoughts on this, I would welcome. But Lord Shiva is not the energy of the Lord like Sudarshan. The Sudarshan, I think, is like the energy of the Lord. And Lord Shiva is the transformation, like how Brahma Samhita says, like milk when it comes in contact with Ra. Yeah, so that's basically it. When the vision comes in contact with material energy, it transforms. And that personality is Lord Shiva or Sadashiva. And
because
this,
like Chaitanya Charitamrita says that Radha cannot be touched by anybody other than Krishna. Similarly, Parvati also cannot be touched
correct.
anybody other than,
Correct.
some
I
form
think in
of
the third canto this is even more.
Yeah,
Like this
yes.
consummation happens
Correct,
between
yes.
Lord Shiva and the material energy.
Yes.
And that's when the creation actually unfolds. So
And the other thing I was thinking, there is actually a story, I don't know if you know that story and we could hear from you, where Sudarshan Chakra gets the pride and Jagannath teaches him the lesson through Hanuman.
I don't
And
know.
how Sudarshan Chakra, which it's there in ISKCON Desire, probably I'll send it in the group and those who are there they can read. And how, he thought he is the best devotee of the Lord. So he had this pride and Jagannath was not liking that. So he sent him to call Hanuman, and while Hanuman came, he didn't let him enter.
Yeah.
And then God gave him extra arms to control those chakra,
Yeah.
and that form is still there near Jagannath temple.
Oh.
And then eventually that's how from right side, Vishnu forms usually he is on the right side,
Yeah.
but because of that curse in age of Kali, he is on the left
Left side.
And in a form of because he behaved such a way,
Ah.
so he has become a pillar now. So,
Oh.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
Another thing I remember on this, similar this, when the Sudarshan Chakra, so when Gajendra was calling for Krishna, right? Everybody else was, Krishna was going so fast that all his paraphernalia were trying to get to him, like the conch and the chakra and Garuda. And then the shoes of Krishna was also trying to come. And then the other entities, like Sudarshan Chakra and everybody were saying, why are you, like what's going to happen? Like he doesn't need you at this point. We're going to go do the job, like why are you hurrying? They were trying to tell that. And therefore, I think in the incarnation of Lord Ram, I think Bharat Maharaj is the incarnation of Sudarshan. Okay? And then he gives the lotus feet, his paduka, to Bharat. And then he takes it on his head, and the paduka rules for an entire year of. So this is like transcendental thing, right? They are all Nitya Siddhas. They're not like this is we should understand it from that perspective. So I've heard this from the Acharyas of the South, the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the nice class. Always helps me to relish and go deeper in Bhagavatam when I hear your class.
Thank you.
Actually, I had one thought and two questions. One thought was, it is very amazing how Ambarish Maharaj was so confident in his bhakti.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even say that, even if I have chanted holy name even once, can this happen? I don't think I have that confidence to even say that. Like it was very inspiring and amazing how confident he was in his bhakti and how Lord was pleased with him.
Yeah.
And I have two questions. My first question is, you're talking about we always have Uttamadhikaris, pure devotees, but we should have the receptacle to receive that mercy. But my experience has been that even though I don't have the receptacle, we still receive causeless mercy, right? So how do you explain that?
It's actually very rare actually, that costless mercy, because there are, at least in the Nectar of Devotion, Rupa Goswami says that this bhava can happen in two ways, right? Once when we are in the when we are trying to perform bhakti, and then Krishna is pleased at some point, because these last two qualities are what, Krishna Karshani, and forget what's the other one. That you get only at the 6. So that's the stage of bhava and prema. So you're not really concerned with anything because you're so intensely focused, right? Chandrananda Visheshatma. It happens through our practice of bhakti. Of course, we're still dependent on the mercy to practice, but we have to put our efforts. We just cannot say that I'm not going to do anything and just depend on the mercy of the devotee for me to actually progress. That is a very rare instance where Krishna might bestow that on us without us doing anything. But we have to put in our effort, which basically this entire month is signifying, right? Is 2 inches too short. One is our effort, our endeavor, and the other is the mercy of the Lord. Of course, the major category is the mercy of the Lord. We are not denying that at all. Our efforts are like what Ambarish Maharaj is saying, what can we do other than just pay obeisances? Like we cannot do extraordinary things. But it has to come from us also, that we want it. That desire should be there. If that desire is not there, Krishna will not force it on us. You see? That's what it means. But for the sadhu, there is no cause. That's what it means when we say costless mercy, is that there is no reason why the sadhu is bestowing mercy. Is the sadhu is bestowing mercy because he just is bestowing mercy. That's why there is no cause for that. That's what it means when it is costless. You didn't do anything for you to deserve that. That's what it means, right? But we have to endeavor. Without our endeavor, it is not just, we cannot take it for granted that, oh, we'll get the mercy of the Lord.
It happens, right? Sometimes I have heard Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj also say this definition. It's like causeless mercy is disproportionate to qualification. At least I have experienced.
That is true. It is disproportionate, is true. But you cannot say that's the only thing. Like there is some proportion of what you're trying to do. The mercy is disproportionate. That everybody will accept. What we are getting here, I don't know if anybody can say we are deserving this. Right? I've done so much for me to deserve everything. That's not what we are saying. But we have to do something. That's what I mean. Without doing anything, it's very rare that we actually get that mercy. It's very rare.
My second question is, you were telling like one of the lessons we can learn from this is how Durvasa Muni wholeheartedly he paid obeisance and asked forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. So my question is, sometimes when we offend a devotee, we may not be wholehearted, even if we go tell them, sorry, I did this, that may not be wholehearted.
Yeah.
But suppose I go and stand in front of Radha Kalachanji, it sometimes seems more wholehearted. I say, sorry, I did this to this devotee. Please help me so that I don't do this. And I feel, I beg forgiveness from this devotee. But we go and tell this in front of the Lord, which seems more wholehearted and more sincere. Then I go and tell the devotee, I'm sorry, I did this. That time it may not be wholehearted.
Yeah.
So which one you think is better?
We have to tell to the devotee. Which the first route that you said is what Durvasa was taking, right? He was asking forgiveness to everybody other than Ambarish Maharaj. Oh Lord, please save me. I'm sorry I did this, but can you please somehow save me? No, but the Lord said, sorry, I'm in no position to actually recuse you, right? Excuse you. You have to do that to my devotee. And we have to do it for our own sake actually. It's actually beneficial for us when we actually realize that we have done something and ask for forgiveness. It's not even for the other devotee. We might have hurt the other person or whatever, right? Okay, that is one thing where we actually have the basic courtesy to go and say sorry. But it is also for our own benefit, that because it weighs heavily on the heart. Once you realize it and not act on it, it weighs on the heart, right? Then it's a disturbance in the practice of devotional service. It's better to go and directly talk to the devotee and say sorry. And then it's up to the devotee whether they forgive us or not. But at least we have done our part and said, sorry, I really felt this.
So, like you mentioned, like at least for our own benefit, we should go say sorry. At what stage of bhakti do we reach where we feel like we genuinely feel sorry without any self-interest and we go say sorry? At what stage of bhakti we will develop that?
Actually, in most cases, it is without self-interest, right? We're not thinking, oh, what is it going to give me? In most cases, when we feel we are genuinely at mistake, the Paramatma from within is very clear in its indication, like, hey, go and do this. Go and do this, you know. It's just that we try to resist and saying we don't know what will happen, what that person will say. Like we have so many things in our mind that's going on. But in most cases, I don't feel we have the selfish motive, you know. That's not the primary concern. Oh, let me actually get free of this burden. We don't think like that. Right? Yeah. So Nandabraja Prabhu was saying something.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful class. I had two things I was thinking about. One was about the causeless mercy.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about causeless in the sense of love is not a cause. A love goes out just because I love you. You do something, and it's not because I reciprocate because of that thing. The cause isn't the reciprocation. The love is, and maybe that's down here. So the causeless mercy is simply this, I love you. And the pure devotee loves us so much, they just want to see us with Krishna.
Yeah.
So there might be something that we do. However, I do understand what you're saying. I'm not saying at first, we need to do these things, but because we're so material minded that I do something and I get something back. So the Lord and His devotees reciprocate us like that for, in a sense.
Yeah.
But it's never really, the cause is never the action that we're, their mercy is never because of the thing that we're doing. The thing that we're doing is never impressive.
Yeah.
So the causelessness is just the simple love of the activity.
Yeah. But what we are saying is how we receive, right? The causeless mercy is always there.
Yeah.
Causeless mercy is there even now, right?
Yeah. How we receive that is that simply the devotee or his Lord simply just give it. They just love us.
No, they are always giving us. Right? In this case, Durvasa Muni, Amrish Maharaj was always giving him mercy. It was not like before the Sudarshan Chakra he didn't give and after the Sudarshan Chakra he gave. But Durvasa Muni had this realization much later. Because from his own understanding he was able to receive it. We have to have the capacity to receive that mercy.
Yes. So you're saying that the Lord's mercies, the Lord's love is always there.
Yeah.
And His devotees.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the only way that we get to receive it is if we put ourselves in the situation to receive it.
Yeah, we should want to receive it.
Okay.
They won't force it upon us.
So if the devotee's love is there always, and we put ourselves in the situation, it's not because we did anything. It's not because of us. It's because of their love. And I guess I can see what. And she puts herself in this situation where effort, right?
Yeah.
And she puts herself in this situation where effort, right?
Yeah.
But the reciprocation of Krishna isn't because of what she's doing. Okay, I should say love precedes what she's doing.
But
It's
it is
the
her
second.
love for him.
What's
right?
that?
It's her love for him.
Yes.
It is coming from her. It's not that she is passive.
Yes.
She wants to love Krishna. She loves Krishna. That is the endeavor I'm speaking about, not some physical thing. Like we have to have that in our mind. I want to love Krishna. I want to serve Krishna. If that is happening, then the mercy will come. If I don't want it, then that won't come.
But sometimes even without that, it happens.
That is
And
very
because
rare. That's all I'm saying.
But that's the cause. Okay, it is very rare, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. So then we understand if it does or does not happen, what is the primary ingredient? It's the love. It's not the activity. Sometimes we do activities and the mercy's there.
But love is expressed through activity.
Yes.
Right? Love is expressed through activity. So Prabhupada says...
But you just said that sometimes the activity doesn't even need to be there.
From our side, I have to love, right?
Yes.
But how would I express love?
By doing action.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right. And sometimes the Lord does action with His causeless mercy just because He loves us. Sometimes we don't take action and the Lord gives us that mercy just because. Just with causelessness.
I agree, but that is very rare is all I'm saying. Because what we see in this lifetime is a small snapshot, right? We might have this thing called Ajnata Sukriti that we have built up over time that is actually enabling us to get that mercy. So it's not like granted that...
Okay, so I'll make the statement one more time and we can move on.
Yeah.
Is that what precedes the cause or the action is the love. And that's the causelessness. There's nothing you can do that the Lord says, therefore you deserve my love. The love is there, and then there might be some reciprocation. Okay? And I'll think about these other things. Yeah. The second thing I wanted to talk about was forgiveness I was thinking about how powerful forgiveness is in the sense of, because you were mentioning about the forgiveness, and I was thinking about how we, because of our hard-heartedness and our envy, we like to hold grudges, right?
Yeah.
And so we see somebody, and remember, I don't like this person because they did this, or I'm mad at them because and I was thinking about how, like, each time we do that, there's this you replay that hurt again. You know what I mean? That trauma is there again, and it has nothing. The person doesn't even feel it, that you have to go for it. And so when we forgive, we live a life of peace because we don't have to relive these silly traumas. And I was thinking in the case of how many devotees we see that are forgiven, Lord Jesus Christ, Lord Nityananda, so forgiving. But I was thinking that what's so amazing about Maharaj Ambrish is he doesn't even forgive, because he never even he doesn't forgive because he didn't even take offense in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't even have to I forgive you. It was like, no, I never even saw in the first place because of this position. It's amazing,
Yeah, it's
how peaceful it must be, or how confident you must be to live in life when you're living like that, of never being offended or offending others.
Because all you're thinking of is Krishna. That you don't have scope for anything else to think when you're a pure devotee of the Lord, right? You're not thinking about yourself at all. You're not thinking that you're so great. All you're thinking is, how can I serve the Lord? And this was his reaction, right? Is, Lord, if you want me to die like this, take me. And therefore, I'm not even going to try to defend myself. That was Ambrish Maharaj's reaction. Like, he was an emperor, which means he would have fought wars. He must have been great at it, right? It's not that he was like a brahmana who was trying to. No, he's a kshatriya. He's a warrior. His natural instinct would have been to take the sword, right? And yet he's controlling that natural instinct because he's become much more than just that nature, right? This is what Krishna says, that for such a person there is no duty, but they still perform the duty to teach other people. This is the 3rd chapter of the Gita. He quotes Janaka Maharaj in that instance, saying, for a person who is completely self-realized, for them there is no duty, but they still perform the duty to teach other people, because yadyad acharati shreshtas taddat eveta rojana, that common men follow what great men do. For that they actually do their duty. So Ambrish Maharaj was perfectly performing that duty, but he was not really a kshatriya, right? He has transcended that, and he was in the stage of a pure devotee of the Lord. At that point, it's like, I don't care. It's just a body. Yes, Gokulananda Prabhu. Yes, please. Is it on? No, it's not on. You want to take this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. What I was thinking was, there's a difference between liberation and a pure love for Krishna. So when it comes down to liberation, Krishna, causelessly, he might award to anybody without any reason. But when it comes down to, of course, Krishna is supremely independent. When it comes down to bhakti, that is something really rare.
Yeah.
So, but we see Lord Chaitanya is in a different, just like in an intoxicated mood, a rich person. Patra na deki. He doesn't see any qualification or disqualification. He's just giving. But that is like the beginning stage.
Correct.
Like Prabhupada's books, when we distribute, Prabhupada said simply by touching, they will at least get the human. But that is not the end of it. Krishna is not going to give Krishna Prem just like that. You will have to endeavor. So in the beginning, there will be causeless mercy. That is one part of it. But then comes our endeavors.
Yeah.
So liberation, 100% can be given without any endeavors. Krishna is supremely independent. By killing demons, he is awarding.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to giving pure love for himself, then it's not an easy affair. It is like we see the hoardings on the highways, sale, bonanza.
Yeah.
But then at the footnote there is a asterisk, conditions apply. So Ajamil's story is the sale.
Yes.
Okay. Or we we are in the Kartik month, so there is that mouse story, Agyata Sukriti,
Yes.
rotating around, and then Krishna takes it as, but then pure love of Krishna is not given. It is the beginning that is awarded. When Lord Chaitanya is giving, that is also the beginning. Jagai Madai, There is the beginning awarded, and then Lord Chaitanya says, now hereafter do not do it.
Yeah.
Whatever you have done in the past, do not do that.
Yeah.
So this is my understanding. We have causeless mercy in the beginning, but after that, then we need to get aligned, we need to get tuned to. That is why there is no black or white. It is always, everything you see is as per the time, place and situation.
Yeah. Thank you for framing it so nicely. Basically, these are the things that I was trying to say. You were saying it so elegantly. That in the beginning, for us to get anything, we might not even have the intent, like the mouse, right? We accrue agyata sukriti, but we are still accruing it without us knowing. Therefore, by that, we get some mercy. And the last two qualities of pure devotional service I was mentioning is specifically for Krishna Prema, right? That Krishna Akarshani is Krishna Prema. That's something that can actually attract Krishna, control him. He becomes subservient to a devotee. That Krishna doesn't offer costlessly to everybody. So that is very rare. And even if we try, we cannot again say, Krishna, I've done all of this. I've checked all the boxes. So can you please? Sudurlabha. Yeah, it is Sudurlabha. Yeah. It's Sudurlabha. Yeah. But the initial two is very easy, right? Kleshagni and Shubhada, right? Are all auspiciousness starts, and Kleshagni is all our inauspiciousness is starting to be wiped out. Yeah, 1 more minute. Actually, you're 4 minutes over time.
Follow-up question on what Prabhuji said.
Yes.
When Prabhu was explaining, I was thinking, maybe is it the reason that when we first came into Krishna conscious, first few years, we feel like we are like going so fast in bhakti, purification is happening, we are so attracted. But after a few years, everything seems so stagnant. So he's
it's also the offenses that we commit on the way that are yes. Yeah. Gokulananda Prabhu is saying, in the beginning there is taste, and then we get the test. Like free samples are distributed. You go to Costco, then you have to pay for what you buy. You can't just live off the samples, right? You have to do something to get it.
You don't test every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Test
I think we should stop here. Yeah. Thank you all so much for your attention. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।